Danny J, we do not have a referendum when we change the term limit provisions relating to president. When will we ever have referendum? When we are dealing with which clause now? That means that the clauses in the constitution that deal with referendum are then rendered moribund. That was never the intention of the law.
So in what way are term limits being violated?
Term limit provisions are being violated. And a term limit provision a term can be extended in two ways. It can be extended by adding another term, right? That is, if you have served your 10 years, you get another 5 years. That's one way of extending a term. The other way is to extend the size of the term.
Yeah, which is from 5 to 7.
Yes, it is still extending a term by virtue of the definition placed in section 328, where we said that a term limit provision is a provision that lengthens the period of time that a person holds office. So that then covers the situation where you are extending the term. We foresaw all this, and we then sought to cure that in section 328. This is where the government had not read well. And this is where Minister Zimbabwe, with due respect, and the ZANU-PF apparatchiks, they are too embarrassed to admit that they had overlooked that. They had thought a term is a term as defined in the dictionary. That's not what we do in law. In law, we introduce the definitions right there in the law. And we introduce the definition of a term limit in section 328 subsection 1. And we said a term limit provision is a provision that extends the period of time. If you change from 5 to 7, you have extended. And I thought that this is where the government should have allowed the discourse, should have allowed a dialogue. And we would have pointed this out. And we did seek dialogue with the government, by the way. Tried to make appointments with the minister because we didn't want to look like we are embarrassing him. But we wanted to point out that you have made a mistake. This reasoning is wrong.